Hello, Jon Markee here, founder and CEO of MyBuilderCPA. Today we're going to talk about tax planning with estimated taxes. So first, what are estimated taxes? So people have different expectations when you refer to quarterly taxes. For example, some people think of quarterly payroll taxes where your Form 941 has to be filed and paid. But in this case, we're looking at income taxes and the quarterly payments that are necessary because of those. So why are quarterly estimated payments needed? Because you are a business owner and you don't have all of your income running through a W-2 that automatically withholds and pays income taxes from your paycheck. And estimated taxes can be a little bit tricky. So you have to pay in either 100% of your prior year liability or 90% of your current year tax liability in order to avoid all penalties by not paying enough in quarterly estimated payments. If your business is routine, steady eddy throughout the year, it's pretty easy to calculate the quarterly estimates that are due at the end of every quarter. But if you experience any kind of up or down or seasonal influences, like maybe you're busier during the summer, chances are your quarterly estimated tax payments will have to change from quarter to quarter. And when the form generates Form 2210 for estimated payment penalty, it's going to try to calculate if you paid the right amount in each quarter. So it is important to try to nail down exactly how much and when these quarterly payments need to be made. Don't worry, the deadlines are extra confusing. So the first quarter payments are due April 15th. Second quarter is due 2 months later. Normally we would expect a quarter to be 3 months, but 2 months later on June 15th, then we have a full 3 months to the September 15th quarterly deadline. And then finally, we get 4 months for January 15th, the fourth quarter deadline. I think there's a reason behind why this is done, kind of, relating to the income tax deadlines, but just know that quarterly estimated payments are not due every quarter. The service level based on your plan with our firm here at MyBuilderCPA will determine how frequently we take a look at these quarterly estimated payments. If you're on the Premium Tier 1 Pro Growth plan, we will be revisiting your quarterly estimated tax payments every quarter. If you're on one of the other plans, we're going to take a look at what's required to meet the bare minimum quarterly estimated payments every quarter for the coming year. We'll do that when we prepare your income tax return, and we'll basically give you what you need to do in order to file those and pay those. We can set those payments up for you, and we prefer to do that. We like having electronic payments ready to go. It cuts down on processing time. You're less likely to have a check stolen or lost out of the mail. We know the IRS got its funds on time, so it's easier if it's just scheduled electronically in advance. A couple things to be aware of. If we use our system to schedule the payments, there's no way to change the bank account later. So if you think you might want to pay from a different bank account, or if you anticipate changing banks throughout the year, we'll give you the information that you need in order to submit an electronic payment right to the IRS online and also your state tax agency. If you have any questions on how to pay the IRS, you can check out another video I did some time ago called How to Pay the IRS. What else do we need to consider with quarterly estimated payments? So for those of you who might be an S Corp or who also have W-2 earnings, a portion of your annual tax payment due will be automatically withheld and paid from your paycheck. That's a pretty good option for a lot of us, but if there's anything that is out of the ordinary during the year, like extra high business income, extra low business income, sale of investments, a new side hustle, a recent marriage, a new baby, all of those things might impact the quarterly estimated payments that are due. Also, some of this depends on your personal preference. For example, I used to have a client who refused to make quarterly estimated tax payments at all. He believed that his money was best used in his business throughout the year, and whatever interest and penalties were due at the time of his income tax filing, he just paid them without question because he determined that his cash was better off getting used in his business. That's just one example. In my opinion, I think the best situation is if you have a $0 balance due at the end of tax season, because that tells me we set aside the perfect amount, whether it was W-2 holdings or quarterly estimated tax payments. We set aside the perfect amount so that you had the most use of your cash and you didn't have any unexpected balance due bill at tax season. So there's a few different approaches. There's a few different strategies. I always love talking about quarterly estimated tax payments throughout the year, especially if you have something new or unusual that's going to greatly influence your tax liability. I hate giving clients news that they owe money at tax time. So if anything comes up throughout the year that's going to impact your tax situation, like what I mentioned before, sale of investments, marriage, new baby, new job, any life events, please don't hesitate to schedule a tax meeting on my calendar so we can run through an updated calculation of your quarterly estimated tax payments. You'll get some automated emails from us when you're a client, just reminding you that quarterly estimated tax payments are due. Sometimes our turnaround time is a little bit quick because we like to close and reconcile your books for the most recent month ended before we submit the quarterly estimated tax payment that's due. So for example, if we're paying quarterly estimated tax payments due June 15th, ideally we would close the books on May before we calculate that number. Based on your different service plan here with our firm, we might not be able to close and reconcile your books by that June 15th date. So we're going to want to do our best guess at the end of May so we can get that payment sent. It's better to send an approximate payment and pay something than to pay nothing at all and then get hit with penalties and interest later. If you have any more questions about quarterly estimated income taxes, please don't hesitate to reach out, schedule that tax meeting with me. Have a great day.